pens and books out. Mandy?
Yes, I don't have a book or a pen.
Don't have a book or a pen.
Mandy, you can use mine.
Oh, thanks.
To read the parts, everyone did. But have you gone through the scene at home?
No. No.
Okay, well, how about we go through it together? Can you read this first sentence for me?
Yes, nurse, Faith, I can tell her, age unto an hour.
Okay, do you know what's going on here? What is she trying to say?
I don't know.
Okay, we can try together then.
So guys, we're here today to talk about Mandy. I noticed in my maths class that she doesn't have any resources, like she's been borrowing pen and book off her other classmates, and she's not understanding the basic skills required in mathematics. So I need to work towards improving those skills. What have you noticed about her in your class?
Yeah, in my science class, I was teaching food webs the other day. I put a lot of my content online because it's easier, like some science concepts are easier taught through like animations, video clips, things like that. And yeah, it really worried me because she doesn't understand basic food webs because she hadn't had access to the computer work that I've given them.
Well, in my English class, I've tasked her with something to do at home, doing the readings, and I don't feel like at home she's being supported and taking the work seriously. So it might have something to do with her home life as well, I'm concerned. And she's expressing herself like she's giving up, defiant. Yeah.
I feel that there could be something going on at home as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, those emotional difficulties really do worry me because social skills are such an important
disadvantaged.
part of schooling and life in general.
And the lack of resources as well.
Yeah.
Concerning.
So we're
And
gonna
these
have to come up-
signs could be a form of anxiety, depression.
Yeah, we're going to have to come up with some strategies we can use to actually assist Mandy,
Yeah.
help her along on her journey towards becoming a better student. So
good.
let's come back next week with some strategies. So
Yeah.
let's do some research.
Alright, sounds good.
Awesome.
Bandura's theory is the theory that an individual's behavior affects his or her surroundings and self-perceptions, which in turn impacts academic achievement. Researchers have shown that a child's educational future is straightforwardly linked to his or her socioeconomic position. According to Considine and Sapala 2002, children from low SES families do not achieve as well as they possibly could, in contrast to children from high SES families. Considine and Zappala 2002 have suggested that there are social factors that play a considerably large part in academic achievement for students from low SES backgrounds. Social factors such as parents' educational accomplishments in explaining student educational results and attitudes are one of the most duplicated outcomes in studies about child development. According to Considine and Zappala, some studies suggest higher status families generally adopt higher levels of achievement and provide higher levels of psychological support for their children. However, their same 2002 study also proposes that this may be true within financially disadvantaged families. This makes programs and policies made by educators of the utmost importance for all students. Strategies for helping Mandy through some of her issues are portraying high expectations for not only Mandy, but for all students. A whole school adoption of positive and prideful attitudes towards a wider school community, and creating positive classroom environments. Considine Zappala also implies that teachers at underprivileged schools often hold low expectations for their students. This resonates with low expectations that students and their parents may also hold. This directly relates to Mandy and her parents holding low expectations of self and education. From understanding this, Mandy's teachers should take extra steps in making Mandy and her parents feel part of a school community and express high expectations for Mandy. Therefore, programs and policies assisting parents in providing appropriate psychological and educational support should be encouraged and beneficial for all students.
We mustn't forget about parents and carers as interrelated relationships found in the classroom and school environment. Many relationships that form in and around students, including parent-student relationships, are influential in relation to both students' learning and well-being. According to Werrick and Rudisil, parental involvement such as parent interactions with teachers and attending school meetings can either buffer or exacerbate a student's risk for maladjustment. As educators, we are key catalysts and partners amongst this relationship. Therefore, teachers can improve parental involvement by utilizing parental role construction. That is, a parent's belief about what they should do regarding the child's education, as mentioned by Werrick and Rudisil. To further elaborate, this method appeals to the parent's efficacy to help, a perception of the extent to which they feel invited to become involved from either the school or the child, and other elements of the parent's life context, including socioeconomic status, knowledge, and so on. To foster a relationship with parents, including Mandy's parents, teachers may send a welcome email or letter to parents or carers early in the term, as well as set up any necessary meetings to discuss their child's progress, performance, and more. This may work to display to parents the interest and enthusiasm that the teacher is displaying for educating and knowing their child, as well as appealing for parents to get involved in aiding their child's education. In our case, this may build up Mandy's parents' expectations, positive perceptions on education, and involvement, as well as the advocacy for a positive and supportive attitude by the teacher. Continuing, educators may also advocate for a whole school strategy that may work to address and support the development of low SES families' ability to support their children educationally and psychologically. Whilst not discounting the importance of financial assistance for students with low SES backgrounds, this support touches on the more social, rather than economic aspects of socio-economic disadvantage, especially considering how social factors, as mentioned by Cosendine and Zapala, have been found to be more significant than economic factors in explaining students' educational achievement. Continuing, this program may be implemented by the school and may be available to all parents and carers, including Mandy's parents, which work to benefit the broader school community. For example, this program may include seminars on parental engagement in children's learning as aligned with the Australian Government Department of Education and Training's website on the matter.
Hi Mandy.
Hi.
So me and Ms. Smith wanted to talk to you today about how you're going in school, how you're finding the first term.
I've been finding it really hard. I've been getting really emotional and upset because I don't have all the things that the other kids have at home.
Okay, so like the computers the other day with the free work?
Yes.
Yeah, it was lovely of your classmate to help you go along and get the work done, but obviously we can't be doing that all the time. So me and Miss have decided that we're going to come up with some stuff to help you.
I wanted to start by giving you your book, a book and pen. So you can use this for the rest of the term for your subjects.
Oh, thank you.
Probably leave this in your desk at school, so that way you've always got it here.
Alright, thank you.
It's alright, unless you have homework.
Yeah.
The next thing we wanted to talk to you about was, let's try and make some goals.
Okay.
So we can just start off with small things. What is something that you want to work on and improve in?
I want to be able to say that I've passed all my tests.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a really big goal. So obviously we're going to be working towards that. But what about as just a very first step, maybe letting whichever of the teachers you're with at the time know when you're having a little bit of trouble.
Okay. Yeah.
So also, what we want to do is we want to work on getting your emotions, taking control of your emotions, because your emotions don't rule you, you rule them. So what I'm going to try and have you do in my class, and I'd like you to try it outside of class as well, is what I want you to do when you're feeling sad or frustrated, what I want you to do is think of or write down 3 things you've done well that day.
Okay. I can do
And
that.
we're going to help you do that.
Alright, thank you.
Sounds good.
Alright, let's get back to class, Mandy.
Thank you.
Goal theory is an effective strategy that can help Mandy's emotional regulation difficulties and aid to improve her academic achievements in maths and English. These are the 6 steps that summarize what goal theory is about. So far, Mandy has worked towards the first 2 steps. Firstly, Mandy, and with the aid of her teachers, can identify small achievable goals. Then over time, this can develop into long-term goals such as developing confidence and succeeding in English and maths. Teachers can seek out goal-based explanations as for why Mandy is motivated to behave in such ways as displayed before, and then to negotiate alternative ways for these goals to be achieved. Alternatively, goal theory can be extremely challenging if students are not willing to achieve and do better. This strategy will take time, possibly over the school year or more, for students to fully accomplish their objectives.
Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, or REBT, centers around reducing irrational thoughts and unhealthy emotions. REBT will encourage Mandy to think rationally about what upsets her and to have greater control over her emotions. Her teachers will help her to take charge of her emotions using REBT by providing suggestions that will help her to develop adaptive behaviors, which will foster self-control and minimize negative self-talk about herself, Mandy, and her own abilities. Over time, REBT will help her to develop healthier cognitive patterns. We, as Mandy's teachers, have chosen to use REBT in helping Mandy because in our earlier video, we see that Mandy exhibits behaviors similar to Ellis's ABC theory. In this model, A is an experience or activating event, B signifies an individual's belief about the event or situation in A, and C is the emotional reaction stemming from B. Firstly, Mandy's irrational behavior is activated by the teacher assigning difficult classwork. Mandy believes it's too difficult to complete and exhibits an emotional, angry outburst. The teacher asks Mandy to think of several things she has been able to do that day. This distracts Mandy from her irrational thoughts and makes her question her irrational beliefs, which will change her cognitive patterns over time.
Alright class, so still looking at back to external leaf plots, we're going to create one now. So Mandy, come up to the board, because you're going to be writing on the whiteboard, you're going to be creating the star, but the class is going to explain what values to put in and you're going to write them down.
Okay, Miss, are we working with the data A or the data B?
We're working with data A.
Okay. So Mandy, see how the first number is 22? You have a 2 there for the 20, so you have to put a 2 next to the other 2.
So the first digit is 2 and the second digit is 2.
Oh.
Yeah, see that.
So see, what do you think you got to do with 24 then?
Put a 4?
Yeah.
Well done.
I get it.
1 light year. So why do we think we call it a light year? Mandy?
Miss, I don't know. I'm not having a really good day today.
Oh, alright. Okay, I'll come over. Alright. So Mandy, can you tell me 3 things that you've done well today?
Well, I learned how to do a stem and leaf plot.
Oh, good.
I finished all my homework. And I've prepared everything for next lesson.
Alright, good job. We're going to work on light years together, okay?
Thank you.